Hello there, you're welcome to our YouTube series on how to start your clothing business. My name is Laoye, and I will be going further in our conversation, which we started already with carving a niche for your clothing business. In this edition, I will be talking about creating a portfolio of designs. Once you've determined the niche that you want to start in for your clothing business, to be able to build a brand out of it over time, you need to proceed to now creating designs. Okay, having a portfolio of designs of those types of clothing that you want to specialize in. The reason why you need to come up with a portfolio of designs is because you will use those designs for your marketing purposes. Or you want to sell and make money for your business, you have to sell products. And for you to sell products, you have to design products, right? When you design products, you need to create promotional materials, anything from pictures, right, to videos that you can use in your marketing. That is the reason why you need to create a portfolio of designs. And quite frankly, you will be taken seriously by your target audience, by the wider market, when you have portfolios of your own designs. At this juncture, I need to point out something. You can start out your clothing business as a bespoke designer or as a ready-to-wear designer. If you start out as a bespoke designer, it means you are into bespoke tailoring. Okay, made to measure clothing. That's what it means. That is, customers are coming to you, asking you to make clothing for them, perfectly fitting their body shape, their measurements and whatnot. However, the interesting thing about bespoke is you have an opportunity to charge differently per customers. So for every customer that comes through the door, the price at which you charge them will definitely vary. By the time we get to pricing in this series, I will break it further, so you would know how to figure out the pricing for your bespoke tailoring service and how to figure out the pricing for your ready-to-wear business. Okay, so I've touched on bespoke tailoring for those of you that want to be bespoke designers, right? But for those that want to become ready-to-wear designers, it means that you are starting a clothing line, right? Or you want to be a fashion retailer, or you want to be a garment manufacturer for other designers. Okay, because ready-to-wear has its own wider network that you can venture into. Now, with ready-to-wear clothing, what it means is ready-made clothing you can pick off the shelf. Someone can walk into your store, right, or visit your online store, and they check through your product catalogs, pick the ones they like, and they add to carts, make payments, and you ship their products to them. Definitely they will be picking the sizes, right? They'll be picking their designs based on the sizes, right? So that's a given. So with that foundation laid, then we can now look deeper into creating a portfolio of designs. Now, the interesting thing about creating a portfolio of designs is that it doesn't matter whether you are into bespoke, tailoring, or you are into ready-to-wear clothing. Yeah, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, what you come up with is what? Products, clothing that customers will adorn, right, and appreciate you for helping them to look good. So in our last session, we talked about carving a niche, and I said a niche, right, is a specialty that has a sizable market, that has a big enough market for you to continually generate revenue. and the specialty has to be around specific types of clothing. So if you want to know more about how to carve your niche, you might want to check out the video, on carving your niche. Okay, so once you figured out, the niche you want to specialize in, right, the interesting thing now is, what are the designs of clothing that you should come up with? Now, this is where it gets a lot more interesting. Just because you know how to sew a particular type of cloth, or know how to design a particular type of cloth, does not mean that you will get sales. Does not mean that your audience will buy. There has to be something called a design and customer fit. There has to be a design and customer fit. So what that literally translates to is that the designs you come up with have to be things that your customers want. If they are not designs that your customers want, they won't buy. Or you would end up having beautiful designs with nobody to buy. You don't want to be in that kind of situation, do you? Good. I know you don't. So thing is this: make a list of those types of clothing you want to produce. And when I talk about types of clothing, I'm talking about outfits, garments, specific names of garments that you want to make. And I mean, top of my head, I know a couple of them, especially in the female, space of the clothing business. And for example, let me mention some like kimonos, crop tops, blouses, skirts, jumpsuits, right, gowns, yes, dinner dress, and then shirts, dress shirts. So many types of clothing for women. I mean, when we talk about menswear, we talk about shirts, right? We talk about traditional attires. For those of us in the African space, we have like kaftan, we have kaftan, yeah, we have jalamia, we have safari suits, and a whole lot of other, types of traditional wears. So for clothing, be specific in terms of those types of clothing you want to specialize in. Once you have them listed, right, next thing is you start coming up with designs. For you to now come up with designs, you need to talk to your target audience. Mind the pace at which I made that statement. I want it to sink in. You need to talk to your target audience. So let me tell you a quick story. Back in the day, some years back, I watched a video on YouTube of a company down in India who were into furniture. They make furniture for the homes and the office, and they wanted to kick off their operations, selling the furniture, tables and chairs, for offices as well as for homes. So they made some samples of their furniture designs, right, that they came up with, and they took pictures, recorded videos, then went out to interview people that use furniture in their homes and people that have furniture in their offices. I mean, practically every business has got to use one form of furniture or the other, right? And every home needs to have one or two. Over the course of 9 months, they kept getting feedback from different people that they showed the products to ask them, what do you think? Is this what you would like? What changes would you recommend that we make? And they were able to come up with so many different designs of the same furniture. I mean, take for example a table. They came up with as many designs as possible of tables based on the feedback they got, and for months they kept getting orders from customers such that they could not really meet up. I read a story on the site, right, of another startup company in the US who were into creation of machines that can cut hectares of land, as a cut grass, clear out hectares of land. When they created their first product, that is their, minimum viable product, they call it. They went to golf clubs, they went to stadiums, right, in the US, whom they know, like, oh, this is our target audience naturally. So they would need, machines that can cut a whole field of grass within 30 minutes and automated at that. And then they reached out to golf clubs, to stadiums. Unfortunately, those companies did not buy. They told them they were okay with the tractors and the lawn mowers that they already had. They were not interested in what this company had to sell. So these guys had to ask themselves, okay, who else would likely need this product we've created that can be automated? That means it works like a robot and clears hectares of land effortlessly. And they decided to try out farmers. So they went, to the prairies of the United States and looked out for farmers, right, that had cornfields, wheat fields, and what have you. And then they talked to them about their product, their design, their machine, and they were like, can we test it? So you can see. And in 30 minutes, it had cleared over 5 hectares of land, and they were like, whoa, do you know how long it would take me to, sit on my tractor and clear the same space? Hours. This is a great product. Can we have it? And those guys were like, you know what? We don't have many in stock, but you can place order. So when you place order, we can produce and then deliver to you. And they got 9 months worth of orders from customers. So from the stories I've just shared with you, there is the importance of testing the market, of researching, of talking to the people that need what you're selling. For the example that I shared of those guys that came up with the machine that can cut grasses, in their minds they were like, oh, it is stadiums, it is golf clubs, that will be our primary customers. But they ended up finding out that it was farmers that would buy and make them profitable. They went out, they did research. As a fashion entrepreneur who's starting a clothing business, don't just rush to create designs of clothing and then expect that, oh, that is what customers will buy. No. Whatever you come up with as an idea usually will be what you fantasize about, what you admire personally, such that if you were to go to a shopping mall and cite your designs, you are likely to buy your own designs. That's the funny thing about it, okay? Yeah, because we buy based on emotions. We buy because we've been imagining ourselves owning that particular, product. In the same way, rather than be an obstacle in your own path, why don't you make a list of people that you know already wearing those kind of products you want to be making, those kind of clothing that you want to be making? Or you're thinking of venturing into boo-boos, you're thinking of venturing into abayas, you're thinking of venturing into wrap dresses, as your niche. The interesting thing is this: do you know, or can you find people who already wear boo-boos, abayas, right, and wrap dresses? And you interview them, talk to them. That is how you will get feedback that would help you in coming up with creative designs. Okay, when you follow this route, you are what we call a customer-centric business. That means a business that is focused on the customer and wants to serve rather than just sell. Because when you go out to serve, you will sell. But when you go out to sell, you may not. Especially if you come up with what people don't want. Okay, so you come up with your designs only after you've interviewed people who have already, bought those kind of clothing, who are already using those kind of clothing that you want to venture into. There are a lot around. Okay, you need to be open-minded. Draw your pen and paper like I did in the last session. We can do that again. Make a list of people you know around you. Or they don't have to be your friends alone. They've got to be people you know. They may not know you personally. I mean, you are going to have to sell to strangers. Okay, so you need to get used to talking to strangers. Now, so make a list of people you know, or make a list of people you know who can connect you to those they know who already wear those kind of clothing you make. You want to make clothing that people will go to work, need for work wears, right? Make a list of people you know who are in paid employment, who are professionals that you know, who wear those kind of clothing already, and then you need to talk to them. Or when you make a list, right, reach out to them. I mean, you can reach out by call, by SMS, by WhatsApp messages, right? You can reach out by any means. All you want to do is have an interview session, a discussion with them to find out what they like, to find out the styles they fantasize about, the ideas that they have in mind, in terms of those kind of clothing. Get their feedback, the colors that they like. You need to find out, okay, the price ranges that are comfortable for them. Get those information, then go to the drawing board and come up with your designs. When you do that, you already have potential customers waiting for you. That is where we'll stop today. Okay, in the next series we're going to expand on this. Thank you.